of 31, hashtag 31 days of we as in women empowerment. Hello to my ladies. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we empower women to get rich and give. And part of getting rich in your financial journey into financial freedom is financial literacy and credit knowledge and all the finance knowledge that we are going to talk about. Listen, tonight, our topic of conversation is about this comment stating, I suck with finances, and this is very embarrassing for me. But here's what I love about this person, appreciate about this person is the fact that this person was brave enough to share that they suck with their finances and that they are embarrassed to do so. That's actually step number one. Not only that's brave, that also opens up a good can of worm. Let me explain the good kind of can of worm. What happens is when you release the stress and you declare out there that you suck at it, you're releasing and creating a space in your head to allow solution. And I bet you this person is starting to see little solutions that they can apply and do little tweaks in their life. Because the moment that you release that and declare that you are at that level, you're going to get a lot of help because vulnerability is actually super powerful. And I know a lot of us don't want to be vulnerable when it comes to our finances. You don't have to be, you just have to watch my live. And along the way, with the lessons that I release here every single time that I do it, except this month, I am committed. I am committing to you to do one every single day for the month of March. And we are halfway. We're a little bit more than halfway because there's 31 days in March. And today is 16 days. So let's get started without further ado. Let's dive deep into this discussion this evening. The comment was, I suck with finance. This is extremely embarrassing to admit. Number one, you are not alone, my friend. There's a lot of us out there. And when I speak to one, I speak to all, including my old version. When I say us, that means I'm speaking about my old version, and even my current version is I am leveling up every time I teach you. I will never learn everything. I will always forever be on the 80-20 rule, meaning I only know 20%. And I know I can learn 80% and I'm going to be a lifelong learner. This is the game of finance, and finance is a vast ocean. There's a lot of information out there. No wonder we are so overwhelmed. Hi, everybody. My name is Kareen Mills. It rhymes with bills. You know the one, the dollar bills. I'm a financial educator empowering women to get rich and give. I'm YouTube based. I am committing my next decade to the YouTube channel here to just teach and unload a lot of my knowledge and teach the people of the world about these certain things about money and finance. Okay, this was the comment. It's a long ass comment. I suck with finances, and I like to dissect this maybe sentence per sentence or maybe even paragraph per paragraph. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to start with this one, the first paragraph. This is extremely embarrassing to admit. I've never had any discipline when it comes to finances. I blame my parents for not instilling how important it is to be financially smart. Okay, guy. First of all, do not blame anybody else about your situation. And instead of blaming anybody, you're better off really just knowing where you're at and what you can control and what you have control over. And then what you do from there is going to be the most critical part in your financial journey. However, he did say, I should know better. I've always been the type of person that if I want something, I get it, love it, needs and wants parentheses. I've struggled in saving any sort of income since I always get the urge to spend. And you'll see in my lesson here after this, after we dissect this comment, or it's almost like an essay, actually. It's longer than a comment. You'll see in my lesson is I'm going to take you guys back to basics, because the solution to an overwhelmed individual when it comes to their money and finances is to essentially just go back to basics. There is no magic wand. I wish I can just hand you through this video and filming a magic wand, or I could sell you a magic wand. Wouldn't that be awesome? But there is none where I can just sell you a magic wand and make all of it go away. But the fastest way you can make a difference in your financial journey, especially when you're already a self-professed person that you suck at your finances, is go back to basics, you guys. You guys start thinking like, I want to be a millionaire so freaking bad. But the journey to a million requires a lot of little steps. This is the thing. We don't just wake up the next day and we become a millionaire. There's a lot of things and a lot of work we must do and we must commit to doing. That's why tonight, after we dissect this little essay from somebody, we are going into the basics, and I'm going to give you some probably about 5 tips that you can take with you. And I want you to take this seriously, especially if you're one of these people that feels like you are just sucking with money and finances. Just know that you are not alone. I promise you. There's a sea of people out there that are in the same boat, even the ones that makes a lot of money. Because what I always say is it's not about the money that you make and how much you make. It's about how much you keep. It's about, I'm going to even go take it deeper. It's about the decisions that you make around the money that you make. It's not about the money that you make. Yes, it helps to make a lot of money. But listen, if you're like this guy and you like to spend a lot of money, you can overspend no matter how much you make. That's not the key to financial freedom. The key to financial freedom is knowing your limitations and creating a really good behavior and habits around the money that you make. Second paragraph. I have about $5,000 in credit card debts and a couple other things in collection, which totals about $15,000. So collections, we already know. How much collection hurts? We talked a lot about, I actually talk a lot about the 5 factors of credit, and the biggest chunk is 35% in that pie chart that I shared last night. And if you missed a training last night, make sure you go back and check it out, and you'll see that the biggest recipe that goes into your credit score is paying it on time, your payment history. And so with this second paragraph and this individual saying that there's collection in his or her credit report, it's going to take some time to recover from this. And again, the good news is there's a lot of basic information I'm going to share with you so you can start inching into bettering your finances. Took out several loans, which can actually snowball into more trouble unless you know what you're doing, or unless you have some sort of a guide that's helping you do this. So took out several loans for myself and someone else, and they weren't paid. Guys, there's something that I want to tell you. Don't take out a loan for someone else. Do not do it. Please. It is very critical unless, okay, here's the kicker. Unless you can afford to pay for it in the event that that person defaults. And always have it in writing and contract, because this way, if you have everything in writing and contract, you might is the key word because I don't know your situation. You might be able to take them to the local county court for small claims court. I'm just saying, when it comes to your money and finances, don't play with fire, because when you do this, you are playing with fire. I got upset for being so dumb that instead of paying them, I decided not to. My credit score is the lowest it's been. And that's normal. It's normal to get upset. Um, you are not dumb. I know that we've all made crazy mistakes in the past, financial mistakes. Just know that these are mistakes that you should not be doing again in the future. The good news is you can fix it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. The question is, are you willing to go through the tunnel? And are you willing to give it whatever it takes, however long it takes? That's the question. And that's how you know what you're really made of when it comes to your finances. I'm a retired veteran. Thank you so much for your service. For all the veterans out there, I appreciate your service. And I'm currently working. I'm also finishing my master's. I make decent amount of money, which is a great news. It is harder when you're in the situation and you don't make decent amount of money. So this individual definitely has that part going for them. I have HYS, which I don't know what that is and what that stands for, okay. Now I know, because when I read with Amex and I started registering that it's high yield savings. HYS is a high yield savings account. So he has a high yield savings account with Amex as well as 401k that I recently started depositing into. I just suck with my finances, and it's honestly been exhausting and overwhelming. I would appreciate any advice. So here's the advice I want to give you. This is not the full advice. This is not, in every chat, in every post, or not post, excuse me, in every single video that I have on the bottom in the description, there's always a disclaimer. Consult with a professional. Make sure that the advice or the conversation we have here is not treated as advice. Make sure that you take it with a grain of salt, because your situation and this individual situation and my situation and everybody else's situation is very different. And until I can look at your situation on a one-to-one basis and really ask pertinent question in regards to your situation, we are not going to get there. So let's talk about some tips. I'm not going to obviously be able to give you all the tips, but some tips, like basic. We're taking it back to basics. 5 steps to improve your finances in 90 days. You might not improve your credit in 90 days, but there's been many people that have done that. Just overall finances, and really focus on your behavior. Look yourself up in the mirror and say, are you committed to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and however it takes, however long it takes, and whatever it takes? And if the answer is yes, you're going to make a difference in 90 days. Might not be the light at the end of the tunnel to make all of your financial problems go away. But when you see a little bit of win, it will give you that boost to go to the next win. This is why I like to go take a financial run when I'm doing something, or when I'm doing a challenge. It's like a financial challenge for 90 days, because it's long enough to matter and short enough so that it boosts your motivation, because it creates little wins for you throughout the year. Number 1, this person has already actually taken step number 1, accept that you have a problem. Being vulnerable about your money is a really tough go. It's a big blow on your ego, especially if you make a lot of money. But it's also the first step, and it creates, like I said, it creates that space out of your headspace when you're super overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, it's not peaceful in there. And if it's not peaceful in there, it's not conducive to receiving or even seeing or hearing solutions. So when you take step one and you accept that you have a problem, you create a really good, peaceful headspace, not the whole thing, but like just a little bit of space, enough to receive more good information. Number two, stop the impulse buying. And I know in that little essay that I showed you from someone, I know that they say they're a spender. And I think some of these spending habits are caused by impulse buying. Impulse buying is going to the store without a list or feeling good about something at the moment, not taking a pause and thinking about something before they buy it, or just really creating that discipline around yourself to withhold yourself from making purchases that can really put a dent. And I call it financial leak in the financial world, in your financial house, that can create a dent in your financial house and will eventually cause some drama in your financial house. So, if this is you, please assess the situation. Number three, quit focusing on the large ticket spend. It's the little ticket spend that is a culprit. And I like to pick on Starbucks because everybody knows the Starbucks brand. It's a very well known brand, but there's a lot of brands out there, translate accordingly, whatever brand you drink every day. But if you think about the little things like Starbucks, that's like a $5 cup of coffee. And if you're one of those that likes to always buy maybe a pastry with it, even if it's 3 times a week, it can really add up over time. The reason that the culprit is the little smaller ticket items is when you look at your bank account or your online banking, you end up skipping it because it doesn't jump out at you when you look at statements. If you do, not everybody do. But when you're scrolling and logging in your mobile app, in your financial mobile app or banking app, and you don't see the large ticket spend and you like just like swipe through the small ticket spend, that's what's going to get you in trouble because they do add up over a 30-day period every single month. And that's why number three is focus on the small ticket items. And I'll tell you how to do that. This is how you do it. Okay. It's really basic, you guys. It's not like this massive, scientific, complicated, sophisticated solution. It's super basic. It's just a matter of your commitment and your discipline. Who do you have to be in order to remove these overwhelm and improve your finances in the next 90 days? Number four, review your monthly bank statements or credit card statements. And this is how you catch this little small ticket items that is the culprit of your financial ruins or financial disorganization or overwhelm. When you make time and when you make a commitment to review your monthly bank account and credit card statements, you will catch those if you make time to slow down and really scan through line item per line item. Very basic, non-sophisticated, but it is a great solution. And the more you do this, the easier it will become. And the reason that you don't do this is because you think it's so simple that it must not solve your financial problem. Number five, keeping track of your cash outflow. One way to keep track of your cash outflow is collect all of your receipts. This is a really hard thing to do, especially when you're married or you have a partner in the house that's also spending money. But the easiest thing to do is make sure everybody turns in the receipt, and then you can do an accounting. You can learn how to do accounting on a spreadsheet and put it in and do some calculation. If you don't know how to use a spreadsheet, go ahead and YouTube tutorials. YouTube University is full of tutorials. Make a commitment to learning that because that's going to benefit you in the long run. We talk a lot about budgeting, right? But budgeting is just plus or minus. You add your cash inflow, which are the money that you make or you take home, and then you take out your cash outflow. And in many instances, there's more month at the end of the money rather than more money at the end of the month. The key to financial freedom and getting there is to create a surplus at the end of the month. And how are you going to create a surplus if you're not reviewing your monthly bank statements and you're not keeping track of your outflow, which are your expenses, the minuses on the budgeting? That's where it truly matters, is keeping track of the minuses. If you only have one or two or three or four sources of income, there's only four things to keep track of when it comes to addition. It's in the subtraction where you can get in big trouble. Keep track of the subtraction part. Keep up the great work, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And that's the end of that lesson for this evening. Continue your financial journey and let's stay positive. Keep crushing those goals so we can do it together. If you have any questions, please type it in the bottom. There's a lot of resources in the bottom for sure. Click the links in the bottom in the resources. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you click and hit subscribe. Share this video to your loved ones, your clients, or people that you care about. Let them know that there's lessons here available for them. Join Raw, Rich Anonymous Women. Even though it's women centric, anybody's welcome to join Raw, where financial independence meet girl power. We want everybody there. Raw is housed in a Facebook group. It is curated by the members of Raw. It's fairly new, so founding members are still open. The thing about Raw is you must want it. You must ask the questions in order to get your answers. Otherwise, it will stay quiet. So the way that you can get all the value in Raw is to ask as many questions as possible, and there is no limit. That is an access to me so I can answer your questions inside my Facebook group. It's my paid membership private community. You guys, thank you so much for being here, and I hope the basics helped you. I hope that you're not looking for the most sophisticated solution, because there's really just a few solutions that's going to get you empowered into getting better with your finances. My name is Kareen Mills. I'm also a business coach and a dynamic speaker. My name rhymes with bills. You know the one, the dollar bills. And I want to thank you guys for being here. Make sure that you share this, like, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button below. Also, make sure that you scroll in the bottom and you check out the links that are in the bottom. Thank you so much for being here. Bye for now, and I will see you tomorrow.